Hello, my fellow Slayers. This is Malucha, and welcome back to Dauntless. It has been a while since I actually recorded a part of this game, but yeah, from time to time I still log in, and I logged in a little bit too late, but not too late as well. Apparently, there was a global event that ran from July the 13th to the 23rd, so for 10 days. And the event said saving Ramsgate, where we had to collect corrupted Arcanites, and the total amount the community had to collect was 10 million. So, yeah, it was a really, really big amount that the community had to collect. And it was actually through Umbral escalation that you can get a lot of progress done. And well, yeah, in the last 4 days, I have been farming out Umbral escalation as well to level 25. It is the first escalation I actually grinded to the max amount, and by the end, I kind of noticed something with the amps. There are certain amps that work together really well, and if you can get them to work if you can get them together, the end result is mind-blowing. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at all the quests that there were, all the rewards that there were, and then in the end, we're gonna talk a little bit about the amps. Let's get in there. Ramsgate is on a collision course with the Umbral Deep, and there is only one way to save it: collect corrupted Arcanites and power up the portal drive as you work to reach our first ever worldwide community quest goal. Relic Corrupted. Talk to Boss and Marcus to kick off the Saving Ramsgate quest series. Start with Relic Corrupted, drawing out the poison. Get the Radiant Sun Lantern skin by completing drawing out the poison. An individual quest before 10 a.m. on July the 23rd. And you'll need to finish and turn in the Relic Corrupted to unlock this limited time quest. So yeah, you need to do the first quest to actually get the second quest. Makes sense. And the Great Portal Drive. Pick up the Great Portal Drive quest available after completing the Relic Corrupted and help Ramsgate reach his community goal of 10 million corrupted Arcanite. That's a huge goal. Each piece of corrupted Arcanite you collect from now on till 10 a.m. on July the 23rd will count towards this shared goal, and reaching it will unlock a special dramatic entrance arrival emote for everyone who participates. Corrupted Arcanite. There are two sources of corrupted Arcanite available during saving Ramsgate. The Portal Drive. Interact with Relic and Umbral Escalation to collect 5 corrupted Arcanite and activate a bonus amp. You can do this once per escalation hunt. 2 is through bounties. Each bounty you turn in during the Saving Ramsgate event will grant you 1 corrupted Arcanite plus the usual Hunt Pass XP reward. Quest deadline. All Saving Ramsgate quests must be complete before 10 a.m. PT on July the 23rd. So Relic the Corrupted. Aethersmith Arcandrew believes he can save the people of Ramsgate from a potential disastrous island collision, but perhaps not the city itself. Gather Corrupted Arcanite 1. So let's accept. It's go time, Slayer. Deep in the Umbral well deeps, there is a relic old Archon called the Portal Drive that Gizmo can help us get everyone in Ramsgate to safety. However, it's encased in centuries of corrupted Arcanite. Virtually, you can siphon that off a bit at a time using any lantern. Give it a try on your next visit to the Umbral Deep and bring Archon the results. And Arcandrew has another quest for us. Welcome, Slayer. I can craft lanterns for you to use on your adventures and attune them to improve your abilities on escalation hunts. I'm also, if I say so myself, something of an expert when it comes to all things Aether. And we have a lot of quests in here. Shadowfall chronicles the Umbral Deep, Corrupted Interruption, and tracks Riders of the Umbral Deep.
I think you'll rise.
Okay. Help the Aethersmith understand how Umbral corruption spreads. Deal 25k wound damage to the Shadow-touched Behemoth. Deal 100k blaze damage to frost damage, shock damage, and terra damage. Okay. Didn't know there was a quest. Shadowfall. There's no doubt Umbral Aether is on the rise, bleeding into the elemental frequencies and corrupting them. In other words, Umbral Aether is infecting non-Umbral behemoths. Slayers have dubbed them the Shadow-touched. Help me learn how these Shadow-touched behemoths came to be, how they react to different elements, different forms of attack. It won't be easy to answer these questions, but we must. Okay. Chronicles the Umbral Deep. Collect the first chronicle page, collect the second chronicle page, and collect the third chronicle page. Slay tracks 10 times. Accept. Have you been apprised of my colleague Dr. Periani's expedition to the Umbral Deeps? She and her team discovered the remains of a lost civilization previously unknown even to the orrery. I believe these mysterious people had an advanced understanding of Umbral Aether. Gather Dr. Periani's published chronicles of the expedition and then check back with me, please. Okay, that's a lot of quests. I didn't even know there were so many in the game. Like I said, I pop in from once every while, and this is a really happy surprise for me. I love doing quests. Corrupted Interruption. Arcandrew wants to learn more about the Umbral portals, and you can help. Solo or team interrupt Umbral behemoths who can use Umbral portals 20 times. So let's accept. Umbral behemoths such as the Rift Stalker and the tracks that lurk within the darkest parts of the Umbral Deep manipulate Umbral Aether with instinctive ease. They also use Umbral portals to gain tactical advantages, but interrupt them when they do and you'll help me unlock one of the greatest mysteries known to the etheric science, the Umbral Void. And then the last one we have, Trex Riders of the Umbral Deep. Arcandrew wants you to climb aboard the Trex to collect precise readings. Deal 2.5k damage to Trex with mounted attacks. Except, I almost have all the data I need to move into phase 2 of my plan, but I need some specific information about the Trex that will not be easy to acquire. How are your behemoth riding skills? You see, I need lantern readings taken at very close range. The Trex is a master manipulator of the Umbral Void, so hop aboard when you can. Your lantern will record what I need to know. That's a whole lot of quests that we actually have. Okay, so this is the special relic that you find along the way. So yeah, after checking in on our quest progression, quests and bounties. So here we can actually have a good overview and can actually scroll down here. So Relic the Corrupted, gather Corrupted Arcanite, we did it once. Shadowfall, deal 100k frost damage to Shadow Touched Behemoths, we did 82k, so I guess 100k in one run should be possible. 25k wound damage shouldn't be all that hard to get. We slayed tracks one time. Corrupted Interruptions, we did 3 out of 20, so not bad for one run. And then 2.5k with tracks. We got the situation where we were able to mount him, but when I clicked on mounting him, it just didn't do anything. And then Shadow Dancing, still need to get a lot. I do mean a lot of parts for this one, but we already completed one quest, the Relic Corrupted quest, which is in 3 days, so it's pretty good that I came online now. Arcandrew, Relic Corrupted. Careful, Slayer, don't touch that, it's pure Umbral corruption, as it were. Let me handle that. I can extract the useful Aether and dispose of the corruption, but now you see the challenge before us. We need every Slayer in Ramsgate doing what you just did, and many, many times. I'm ready to do my part, and I know you are too. I'm confident we will succeed. The alternative is unthinkable. So, complete this quest. And let's continue. And then we have 2 more quests, drawing out the poison. The Aethersmith has a plan to save everyone in Ramsgate. Are you in? Reward is the Radiant Sun Lantern. So let's accept that. I have never been more confident in our plan to save the city, but even so, it's going to require a lot of effort. We will all want to contribute, I am sure. But you are an inspiring figure to the citizens, Slayer, as you lead by example. Bring me more of that corrupted Arcanite so I can safely deposit of it. And then the Great Portal Drive. Arcandrew wants every Slayer to focus on cleansing the Portal Drive. Community goal, complete bounties and collect corrupted Arcanite from the Portal Drive in Umbral Escalation. And then gather corrupted Arcanites times 20. Dramatic entrance arrival emotes. So let's accept that one. It's Time Slayer. You have your individual objectives, but we must join together as a community to cleanse the portal drive in time to save Ramsgate. Everyone seems eager to join up. I have no doubt that together we will succeed, and when we do, I may have a special reward for you.
Good fortune, Slayer.
Okay, so that means 2 more quests just popped up in my menu. So now if we not go to journey, we go to quests. We now have the Great Portal Drive, so 75% complete. Gather Corrupted Arcanites, so we need 20 to do it. And then, yeah, 75 out of the, what was it, 10 million, I think. So, yeah, 3 days left to get 4 point something million. 4.3 million, I guess you could call. No, 10 million. Yeah, 75%, that means, yeah, 4.3 million, something like that. And then drawing out the poison, Acer Smith, Arcandrew would like you to continue pulling more Arcanite from the portal drive using your lantern. Gather Corrupted Arcanites, 20, and I did 5 out of 20 already. So, yeah, event quest. This event comes with a lot of quests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quests, and we already did one, so 8 quests. Drawing out the poison. A supreme effort on your part, Slayer. I have always considered myself a realist, but I am beginning to feel a somewhat unreasonable amount of hope. I have prepared a new lantern design for you as a small token of gratitude for all you've done. We're not out of the woods yet, but we will be. Everybody just needs to keep up the efforts. Together we can do this. So the Radiant Sun Lantern, we needed to gather 20 Corrupt Arcanites for that. It was basically just 4 hunts and then activating the orb. And then every time you activate the orb, you basically get 5. So yeah, 4 runs, and it was pretty easy. So complete drawing out the poison. Complete. We got a new lantern. So let's check inventory, equipment, and then lantern. Or is it a skin? Yeah, it's a skin, apparently. So transmog. No, okay, I still like my Frostfall Mistletoe Lantern the most. I love this jingle bell, so I'm gonna keep this one, but yeah, Radiant Sun, pretty nice. Alright, some new quests. Complete the Corrupted Interruption.
You continue to prove worthy.
Yeah, I continue to prove a lot. Alright, Slayer, it's time to let you in on most outlandish part of this plan I've been forming with your assistance. We know we cannot destroy the Umbral Deeps, even alter their course. No, that's impossible, which means with means available, but with a unified effort, some complicated mathematics and an Umbral portals, we might lose the city, but we could save the people. Corrupted Interruption. Arcandrew wants to learn more about Umbral portals, and you can help. I'm losing my words by reading. Oh my god. So Solar Teen interrupt Umbral behemoths who can use Umbral portals 20 times. Completed. Tracks Riders of the Umbral Deep.
You see, I had faith in you, Slayer.
Yeah, I know you had faith in me. These readings are terribly clear, and I mean that literally. We do not have much time, Slayer, but if the city bands together and does what I ask, we can do this. We must simply heal that which has been corrupted and bend it to our will. That can't be that hard, can it? So yeah, deal 2.5k damage to tracks while mounted attacks. Just was lucky enough to be able to board them and shoot them 10 times. Basically every shot does around 250, so pretty easy. Let's complete. And another 200 Hunt Pass XP. Shadowfall, you seem different somehow, Slayer. A bit haunted, perhaps. No offense, but I suspect you have seen many dark things gathering data for me. I don't take your efforts for granted. Yes, I can already see we must revise our thinking on fundamental aspects of Umbral Aether. Too often we have thought of Umbral as just another element. It is so much more, for better and worse. So yeah, 25k wound damage and then 100k blaze, frost, shock, and terra damage done. So let's complete, and another 200 XP pass. So great portal drive, amazing is the only word for it, amazing. The citizens will be safe, of that I am certain, whatever happens to this place. But you, Slayer, have earned special consideration. I think you'll find this personal portal device is not particularly long range, but quite useful for quick deployment from your airship to any hunting ground. And again, well done. So yeah, dramatic entrance arrival emote is what we are gonna get. So complete. And we got the emotes already. So shadow dancing, yes, intriguing. You see how the wavelength of the individual aether's particles fluctuate within the specific band in some cases, but not in other. Perhaps you don't. No matter, we have established a baseline and control group, you will, for Umbral Aether as it's currently exists in this slice of time. Now we experiment. So yeah, a lot of parts together, and then yeah, 200 hunt pass XP. So that's always really nice. All right, continue, and then the last one, Chronicles of the Umbral Deep. What a tale and what a treasure trove of information you've brought me. I think that for the first time in several weeks, we have reason for optimism regarding Ramsgate's date with the Deep. These Void Runners used Umbral Aether in ways we never considered. They built machines to pierce the Umbral Void and traverse it the way behemoths do. Is that why they disappeared? And then yeah, the 3 Chronicles and then Slay tracks 10 times. Complete, and some more Hunt Pass XP.
Farewell to you, Slayer.
There we go, and we got the dramatic entrance. And that's basically all the quests that there was. So yeah, here we have the new hunt arrival. Really looks amazing. So dramatic entrance. Everybody should be able to get it. So yeah, there you go. All the quests that came with the global event. The global event right now is over. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time in it, and because I spent so much time in it, I actually, well, I maxed out my first escalation. As you can see, the other ones are still left behind, so I'm gonna try to work at them a little bit harder. But yeah, Umbral escalation level 25, and that made me look into all the different amps, and I noticed that there were some particulars in here that were really, like, really good. The first thing you're gonna notice is that I still have 8 talent points left. Now, why is that? So if you check out the fourth unlock that you can do, it grants access to 4 amps options during the Umbral escalation. So every time you defeat an behemoth, you basically get a pick between 4 different amp options. Now, why do I have 8 talent points still unlocked? Is because you have 2 different amps. You have an amp that you need to upgrade, meaning that that's an amp that's already in the pool of amps where you can choose from. And if you go to the left, you have amps you need to unlock, meaning they are not in the pool of amps you can choose from. Now, why do I not want to take these? Because, well, basically, sprinting costs no stamina and builds Umbral Charge at the max text. Your next attack within 3 seconds deals 100 bonus damage. 100 bonus damage, really good. But I don't feel that this one is really all that good. And same with the other ones that I did not pick. Like Amp Unlock, they're all unlocks. And I didn't pick them. This one as well, Amp Unlock, didn't pick them. Amp Unlock, didn't pick them. Like, I don't choose these amps because I don't want them in my loot pool. And why do I don't want them in my loot pool? For the most players that, or for most people that watch my channel, and especially for those that watch my Dauntless, they know I'm a heavy fan of the repeaters. The pistols are by far the greatest thing that ever came to this game. I really love them. I'm not really that close of a combat dude. I like the shooting way more. And there is an amp in here called Exposed Weakness. Now, Exposed Weakness, why is this so good with repeaters? Is because it adds 200 wound damage to each weapon attack. Now, repeater damage falls off. It gets lower the further you're away from the behemoth. But the second you can start doing damage, the 200 wound damage doesn't fall off. It doesn't lower. So even if you do like 7 damage a hit, you still get the 200 wound damage. meaning that if you run towards the behemoth and you start shooting from afar, you can get those those wound damages in like really, really fast. And because I work with a speed build of my repeaters, I can wound a part in 2 magazines, like really, really fast, and that from a particularly safe distance, let's say. So getting a wounded part really fast is really good. And why is it so good? Because of surgical precision. Now, surgical precision grants a 2% damage buff for the remainder of the run when a wounded part is broken. Gain an additional 2% each break for every player that has surgical precision. Now, let's do the math, and I hope my math is correct. So basically, if I can get exposed weakness on the first amp choice, that means the first behemoth I've defeated, that means in the second round I can start doing the wound damages, but I still don't have surgical precision. So that means if I'm lucky enough, in my second choice, I can get surgical precision, but that means that there's only 3 behemoths left until we get to Trax. So all the math that I'm gonna do now is for my fight with Trax. So I have 3 behemoths. 3 behemoths have 6 parts. If we can break all 6 parts when they're wounded, that means 18 stacks. 18 stacks times 2, that means 36% increased damage buff. But that's only if I have surgical precision. Every time somebody else has surgical precision, it means that I gain an extra break. And the max breaks that I got so far on the 3 behemoths after getting wound first and then surgical precision, or getting surgical precision first and then getting wounds, like it doesn't really matter which one. I like wounds more because, well, it's good for my, it's good for something else, for my behemoth mastery, because I still need a lot of wounds on behemoths, but yeah, that's another story. But yeah, once I got these 2, basically the heaviest wounds I got before I got to Trax, that was 74. Now let's just call it 40. Well, let's call it 74. Like 74 times 2% equals 49% damage. 49% extra damage. That's the biggest damage buff that's in Umbral Escalation by far. Like squad goals, it gives 5% damage for each player. So if every player has it, just 20% increased damage. Lantern Hold, where was it? 20% damage for each behemoth below 50% health. But it's only if they drop below 50% health. It's not something you start off with. Like, this is 69% damage on 74. Let's just call it 80% stable, like 40 breaks, 80% stable damage. 80% stable extra damage. For the next encounter, you take 25% more damage afterwards. Like, I don't really take these amps, and the reason is because they're one-time use. Like, this is good for the next 2 encounters, but it's not good for the encounters later on. What else is in here? Thrill of the Hunt, really, really good one. If you can take this one first, because you don't have wounds or you don't have surgical precision, it's the second best damage amp in Umbral Escalation. Basically, each time a behemoth is defeated, you deal 10% plus damage. Because you're gonna face 6 behemoths, I do believe, before you get to Trax. That's 60% increased damage from Thrill of the Hunt. If you can, well, no, the 50, because you won't get it when you start the first one. So you defeat 5 behemoths after before you get to Trax. So yeah, that's a 50% buff. That's the second highest damage that you can get in here. But yeah, mostly I kind of wanted to talk just about wound and surgical. Like, at a certain point when I was using flasks, I had Thrill of the Hunt, I had the wounded one, I had surgical imprecision, I had squad goals active, and I had, there was one more, the elemental forms. Like, I had the Umbral elemental form, which gives 15% increased damage. My shots with my repeater were doing around 750, 1,000 per hit on my Trex fight. My Trex fights with the people I was running with, they were really, really good as well. Like, they were doing heavy damage, dodging in time. Like, nobody was really dying. It was I think we spent a minute and 10 seconds on tracks, and he was dead. Like, all parts broken and dead. Like, that was an insane fight. And that was what made me realize, like, I need to check out what these amps actually do and how they can get the biggest buff out there. And yeah, that's also why I don't choose particular buffs in here. Like, if you can get 50% from this one, you can get 80% from this one. Why would you go for others? Why would you go for one that gives you 1,000 bonus damage on your next attack if you do if you build up the Umbral charge? Like, damage dealing accumulates charge of shadow dodge. Dodging through an attack spends a charge causing an Umbral explosion that can interrupt behemoths. It's not even sure that it's gonna interrupt. For each enraged behemoth, gain 30% part break. For each Aether behemoth, gain 50% bonus lantern charge. I have enough lantern charge to constantly keep it up. Like, most players would have the lantern charge to keep all their lanterns up 24/7. Like, why would you even need this one? When a short distance from a behemoth, occasionally spawn a ball of unstable engram that can be launched in a cone of projectile that does 300 damage. 300 damage. What's 300 damage when you can get, what was it, 50% from this, 80% from this? That's 130. You can get 20% from squad goals. That's 150. Your flask does, 25? So that's 175% damage. And then Umbral. The Umbral form that gives 15. That's 90% damage that you can get on tracks if you use the right talents. But you can only get those talents if you're gonna leave out all the rest so that your pool of talents becomes smaller and you can actually pick these talents that are worth it. Anyway, guys, that's my ramble on why you shouldn't pick certain amps, why you shouldn't unlock certain amps there are, and especially in the Umbral one, I've checked the fire and I've checked the shock and the blaze, and there really aren't any amps in here that can compete with in the Umbral escalation. Like, the amps in the Umbral escalation they're insane. Like, there's no way in all these amps that you can get 195% damage by the end, for the end fight. That's my calculation. It's for the end fight. It's for this one it would be Torquedore, and for this one it would be can't come up with his name right now. But yeah, for the Trex fight, going in with 195% extra damage is a big help. Anyway, guys, I hope this little rant of me about why you shouldn't take amps was a little useful. It was definitely useful for me, and yeah, my voice is starting to crack up, so I'm gonna call it for here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.